Alright, hello, welcome back. If you're new here, hello, my name is Kubra. I'm so happy to have you here today. So last year I was selected for a long-term ESG project. If you don't know what ESG projects are, they're basically volunteering projects that are funded by European Union. And during my experience, I've tried my best to get to know Italians better. I've learned the country, the culture, food, people, language, and today I'm here to answer the most frequently asked questions about Italy. Okay, let's start out with the number one topic, and that is places to visit, travel. I was living in Palermo, which is very south of Italy. I've realized a few things, and the main thing is that Sicily is preferred for summer vacations, and people only go to Sicily either for, as I said, vacations, or if their family is living in the south of Italy or like Sicily, Palermo, whatever. For beach chill vibes, you need to visit south. But for history, architecture, like maybe big city vibes, I will say you need to visit a bit north of Italy. Italy does not disappoint when it comes to nature. So I even heard one of my other volunteer friends, she was in Sardinia for her volunteering project, and she told me that Sardinia can be the most beautiful place on earth. Wherever you go in Italy, nature is stunning. Like south is something different. It's very hot in summer, but when you go to north, nature is something completely different. Also, please don't go to popular cities or popular regions in Italy, because there are hidden gems everywhere. Yes, for sure, I will suggest you to go to Milan, Florence, or Venice, but beside those cities, there is like much more to see. I will say especially outskirts of Italy is just so beautiful, and you can experience the culture better. You can interact with people better because you're gonna meet with locals instead of tourists in the streets of Milan. I've personally been to a few places. Before my arrival to Italy, I actually set myself the goal of like, I will go see Cinque Terre that everyone is talking about and super Instagrammable. It does not matter that much because I've already seen enough. Like everywhere is so rich when it comes to the things you need to see, the things you need to try out, the places that you need to visit. So if I were you trying to come up with a travel plan, I wouldn't plan everything. I would plan it to some certain extent, but not all of it, because time to time it's gonna be spontaneous. Just get ready for it. Also, I forgot to mention that I've been to Rome during my on arrival training as like volunteers, and we had one day in the city, and it just happened that it was summer season. Everywhere was full of people that's in some popular destinations, popular locations, areas of the city. It was hard to move, it was hard to walk. I'm not exaggerating. It was so hot, almost 40 degrees. If you want to go, you better go in spring, in fall season. If you're okay with like hustling a bit during your travel and you don't mind some tourists in the city, well, everywhere in Italy there are tourists for sure, and I've realized that Americans are the most, like the biggest group, I guess. If you want to just go for chill vibes, you want to relax, you maybe want to spend time with nature, more like silence and everything, I will say definitely south of Italy, but I don't want to generalize so much because, for example, Naples, it's in the south of Italy, but if you go to some certain areas of Naples, like mostly it's a chaotic city a bit. In Venice, there is a city center where people like live their normal lives, and you go to a certain island and it's like the touristic spots, like wherever you those like pictures from Venice, they were taken in that island. I hope it makes sense. It's just a small area that people visit, that people like go around and see places and everything. It gets very chaotic and crowded easily. There is an area restriction, I will say, because it's an island. But when it comes to Milan, it was like a bit kind of okay. But touristic areas, again, full of people and a little bit expensive. But when it comes to Milan, I really felt like I'm in a city of fashion, because I've been to a bit like outside of the city center and the city center as well. And the thing that I've observed is that people put extra effort to what they wear, like their outfits. It was so nice to see it. Verona was also very nice. The city was extra peaceful, extra like clean and like super organized. Bologna was a city of students. This is just a perfect example of a standard Italian city. Okay, next is food. Italian cuisine, or should I say food and coffee, because coffee is a thing in Italy. So I want to start out by Italian breakfast. They only have croissants, some sort of a pastry, just like one, max two, and espresso or cappuccino. I like to eat a lot when it comes to breakfast, whether that's like greens, olives, cheese. So Italian breakfast is such a minimal version. They eat less, a small amount in breakfast, because they have their dinner at a late hour and they finish it late, and they take their time that in the morning they only prefer to have like something small, something on the go. And when you go to markets, you'll see a huge section for coffee, pasta, and pasta sauces. I have a very shocking experience when it comes to coffee. So the rest of the world outside of Italy, like we drink Americano, we drink latte, or we drink filter coffee and we have it in mugs, right? At least that's how American people do, and that's how I like to drink my coffee. It was the first weekend and they invited me to a book festival, and during that festival there was like a cute little coffee stand where you could take a coffee, and we just decided to go there and buy our coffees with the other Italian friends of mine. And I told the guy there, like, could you please add some water to my coffee? I want to have it like filter coffee. And he was shocked. My friends, they were confused and they acted like I want to add pineapple to my pizza. They say it's a crime in Italy. It was so hard to convince him that it's okay. You can add water to my espresso. I want to have it like an Americano or something, like whatever, I don't care. Just please add some water, because otherwise I don't like espresso. It's too strong for me. It was so hard, and it took me close to 10 minutes or something to make him do that, and he didn't know how to do it. It was like he kind of gave error. And later I realized that for Italians, Italian espresso is some sort of a sacred thing. It's forbidden that you cannot add water to your espresso. You just drink it like that. Maybe you can add some milk or sugar and you have it like that. And in the next months during my stay in Italy, like wherever I go, 90% of the time it was hard to order a latte in a mug or Americano with some ice. They simply do not make it. If you're an Italian watching this video, you can let me know if you disagree with that, but I'm just speaking based on my experience, and I've been to many coffee shops because I'm a cafe lover. I love cafe hopping. Back to the food. What comes to your mind? Pasta, pizza. There are many types of pastas and pizzas, not just like based on their ingredients, like what they put into them, but also how they prepare, like the procedure, like the process of making these. But both pastas and pizzas that I get, yes, they taste nice, too hard on my stomach. And what I mean by that is too oily and just strong on the stomach, because they put sauces, they put other things, they put spices. I remember one day we decided to go out to have dinner with my friend, checked out the menu, and one is they don't have soup. Again, like 99% of the time they don't have soup in their menu, and if they have it, you can understand that it's a rare thing and they price it accordingly, which is a bit expensive. Italian cuisine is very focused on carbs. I'm speaking a little bit like kind of on the negative side right now, but in general I loved Italian cuisine, and there were like specific things that I fell in love. Like for example, I was in Sicily, and Sicilian cuisine is like something different. You will understand that wherever you go in Italy, accents change, even flags change, because you change the region even though you haven't changed the country, and therefore food, like street food, like cuisine they also change. I specifically loved arancina. It's basically rice, and there's like meat inside, and they roast it, I guess, and it's just like so crunchy, still like warm inside, soft inside, and the meat is like so good. Cannoli is a very famous and typical traditional dessert of Sicily and Palermo. They use the cream that they would use for like croissants, like the pistachio, vanilla, whatever. Try it if you ever plan to go to Sicily. When it comes to alcoholic beverages, I'm not an alcohol expert. In fact, I'm way too far away from being an expert when it comes to like alcohol, because I don't consume much alcohol, just like occasionally. Wine was really great. The third topic: culture, people, language. Oh my god, where should I start? First, I have to say that Italian people are so friendly, and they're eager to help if you feel lost in something. Let's say you're looking for direction, and most of them, they're gonna be willing to help you in a friendly conversation. If you have Italian friends, you can make sure that, again, most of them, they're gonna be fun, easygoing, nice people to be around with. I have to say they're very talkative, they have humor, and they like to socialize. They know how to have fun. When it comes to south of Italy, they actually embrace go with the flow mindset, live in the moment, have fun mindset, which I loved. But Sicilian people, they are very like relaxed person in general. According to the statistics, 50%, like half of Italian nation know English. South of Italy, less people know and speak English. But if you were to go to north, more people know English, and you're gonna find more fluently English speaking people. One day I was on my way to the office. I remember a lady just told me something in Italian. For sure she was Italian. I told her something in English and she spoke back to me in Italian, and she told me more than she just like kept speaking to me. It was obvious that she's trying to tell me something, but it was also obvious that I don't know Italian. I don't speak Italian. They were like very persistent, and they were like, no, we're gonna find a way to communicate, you know? Just believe in yourself. We can do it. Like that kind of vibe. Which is very sweet, but on the other hand, just, you know, I really wanted to say, like, don't force me. It was a nice interaction. Later, I realized that there is an obvious separation between, again, South and North. Whereas South people, as I said, they're like relaxed, easygoing, fun people. North of Italy, people are mostly work-driven, goal-oriented. Basically, a hustle culture going on, and they're more disciplined. And for a while I was questioning why my supervisor in the office, she's so different than the others. Later during our conversation, she told me that I'm from Milan. It was such an epiphany moment for me, and I said, okay, her work ethic is different. She was keeping me like super organized, super disciplined. All the other people in the office, they're a bit more like more understanding, more flexible. If you want to live in Italy, if you want to do something with Italian people, like doing business or something, you need to learn Italian. Even though Italian is not that useful outside of the country, it's not like English, it's not like Spanish. If you are in Italy, it is almost like an obligation that you need to know Italian. Otherwise, you're gonna struggle a lot. Mafia. There are many things that are being said about Italian mafia, and I remember myself watching a few videos about Italy, and one of them I heard that, okay, if you go to Italy, never talk about mafia. I arrived to Italy. The second day I was in the office, they said, hello, welcome. Our office was taken from mafia. This means that we were using a workplace that was once belonged to mafia, and now the government took it and then rented to the organization that I was a part of. And it was such a shocking thing to hear. Now, is mafia still active, or like, how is the situation? I've heard this, even though right now it's completely safe to walk on the streets of Sicily or like anywhere in Italy. If you want to start a business, or if you have things to do with like government, like governmental things, like official stuff, papers, whatever, you will feel the impact of mafia. Still, it's like an invisible hand. Italian man. I believe there is a stereotype of an Italian man. I will try to put a picture up here. The curly hair, bone glasses, or like nice charisma, a great jawline, and it is real. In fact, my first date, he was really similar to this stereotype. So when it comes to like men in Italy, what people wonder the most is their approach to relationships. First of all, I don't want to categorize people based on their like nations or like maybe looks, because every person is really unique. And I've had male Italian friends from 100% different personalities and characteristics. I will be generalizing a bit here. They are better when it comes to communicating with women and getting intimate with women. Yes, they are flirty. They are willing to respect your boundaries. And if you tell them that I don't want you, they will immediately be like, I don't want to be someone who doesn't want me. Are they mama's boy? What this face is telling you. I will say definitely mama's boy, because Italian people in general, they value family, the quality time they will spend with their family members. So therefore, Italian men definitely, they make time to see their families. In fact, I remember one date and we just met. We were having a nice conversation. We ordered our drinks, and after 1.5 hours or 2 hours, he was like looking at his phone. He told me like, oh, I'll go meet with my dad. As I promised him before, we will do like XYZ activity together. And I was like, we just met. We were like having a conversation, remember? But he was like completely okay with that. Like for him, that was something like normal. I dated another man and he was like, oh, I'll spare this weekend, this full weekend for my family because my grandma is not doing well and I'll be busy with hospital stuff. Yes. Are they loyal? Now, I have to say this is a very like personal experience that you're gonna have, but I have a quick story time for you. So one day we were in lunch break in office, and we had this like girl conversation going on around boys and relationships. And one of the girls, she was Italian, and she was talking about like other Italian friends of her. I asked like, how are Italian guy? And she was like, oh, you're gonna have some problems with trust because I had two friends and they broke up with their boyfriends, and it's just been 2 or 3 days, and after those 3 days they got back to their relationship, and later they found out that during those like a few days, 3 whatever, they've been with some girls. She told me that they didn't break up, they actually decided to take a break, and it was a few days only, and still this happens. And I was in complete shock, and she told me, don't trust Italian men. And if we were talking about European men in general, don't trust at all. Of course, these are her thoughts on this topic. Like for example, I had a mentor and he was Italian, and he was such a typical loyal type in a relationship, and he was like looking for a relationship and he was ready to be committed to that relationship. You wanna know what I've heard from one of them? He told me that even though I am in a relationship, I can still flirt with other women. I can have a nice conversation with them. I can laugh with them. I can do some small touches, and I think it's okay to do it in a relationship. Yeah. Okay, I just feel like I'm speaking too much right now. A great thing that came to my mind is that if you're a digital nomad, if you're a freelancer, if you work for yourself, Italy now has announced its digital nomad visa. So with that, after you provide like necessary documents and everything, you can live in Italy and you won't need residence permit, at least for a while, they say. Alright, thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was not boring. I just tried to say like everything that's in my mind, and I hope I was successful with answering some of the questions that people wonder about. And you can always let me know what you think about this video, or you can let me know if you have some other questions about Italy, and if I know, I'll try my best to answer these in the comment section. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Lei mi chiama eppure dovrebbe starmi lontana. Non voglio vivere aspettando il fine settimana. Stampo un sorriso sulla faccia per omologarmi e fisso un timer sopra l'iPhone, provo a controllarmi. Quando esitiamo a prenderci troppo sul serio, ci sembra strano pensare chi siamo davvero. Troppe domande